Hey, what's up, everybody? It is Matt Johnson, and we are back with another episode of Real Estate Uncensored. We've got a lot of stuff to cover. We're talking all about body language, and it's one of my favorite titles ever, How to Lose Friends and Irritate People with Your Body Language and What to Do About It. And this is based on a talk that Greg, the junior grandmaster himself, gave recently at a Young Professionals Network organization meeting and had such good response, we decided to adapt it and talk about it specifically for real estate. So this is Real Estate Uncensored, where you get actionable ideas, insight, and inspiration to turn your real estate career into a life of freedom. We've got a lot of stuff to get into, so before that, I will get to Greg and let him vent a little bit. The junior grandmaster himself is in the co-pilot seat where he so belongs, clearly not in the classroom today.
Shut up, Matt. We agreed not to talk about that incident.
Right. Greg had a rough. Greg is the head corporate trainer for J. Rockcliffe Realtors, in case you did not know that, and he had a rough class today.
I might not be after today. We do not know, based upon the incidents that took place. I may have blinded a young lady with some unsavory images that, well, it was not my fault, is what I'm going to stick to the day I die. But I want to talk about you, Matt. You know, I usually talk about me in this segment, but I want to talk about you.
Really? Are you sure we can't just tuck a break and like always talk about me?
We're not going to do that because I like talking about me, Matt. I'm my favorite.
So we're just taking a brief break from talking about you to talk about me.
But I also get to ridicule you mercilessly in this segment, and you don't know what's coming yet. This is the part that I love.
Oh, you're going to ridicule me mercilessly? Usually that's my role. Okay, all right. Bring it on, buddy.
So,
what's up?
Matt is a self-proclaimed musician, and we all know that musicians struggle.
Self-proclaimed?
Self-proclaimed musician.
Okay.
And if you guys ever get a chance, friend Matt, and go back look at some of his old photos. Now, I was talking to Neely last night because, well, first off, I felt like a 15-year-old girl on prom night. Because I just got freaking dumped, bro. I got left behind. Mario, who was going to talk to me out of Texas, totally flaked on me. I felt left out, discouraged. You know,
somebody let you spend a night alone?
It was a night alone.
Oh. Do they not understand what the hashtag means?
I don't know, dude. I don't know. It's pretty fucking clear. Hashtag don't let Greg spend a night alone.
That is the hashtag.
Did I stutter? I did not stutter, and there was no stuttering. No. So anyways, Neely and I were talking back and forth about some of the stuff she's doing for our website, and not for our website, but our Facebook page, which we opened up to the public. We want everybody in. And she's like, God, you know, Greg, you know, I actually went back and I was looking at some of Matt's old photos with his long hair, and it's kind of scary. And I said, I know, White Snake called and they wanted their look back, and Nat had to cut his hair and change his entire, image.
Hey, in my defense, it was not an 80s. I did not have an 80s hair metal look, just so that you know. It was more like, I believe my dad put it, I look like a roadie for Led Zeppelin.
And that's better?
Yeah, well, 70s. 70s is better than the 80s. Come on now. You got to give me that one.
I still do the hair, guys. It was epic. I mean,
that's right.
Go take a look at it, and just you give us your opinion. Write your opinion after you've looked at Matt's Facebook photos into this comment page, where I will be able then to forward them to him and show them that I am 100% right. And holy shit.
Oh, yeah, feel free to do that. So for anybody, if you want to friend request me on Facebook, it is facebook.com/pursuingresults. You're more than welcome to look at those photos. Go right ahead. Give me your best shot. Let's hear it. It's nothing I haven't said myself or done myself. So
I was actually thought you were going to give him my Facebook page, facebook.com/Greg McDaniel.
No, I'm sure they can find your fat and hairy face just as easily.
I'm losing weight, Dick, and I'm very proud of it. I really am.
Hey, man, you gotta be prepared.
I am at all times. It could be a bikini moment. And you have to jump into action. You have to look the part.
Okay.
You can't be chubby if you're a hot piece of yum
walking. I don't know what a bikini moment means, but okay.
When you see a hot girl walking towards the spa by herself, you must take action. You cannot let a girl in a spa by herself. You must protect her. So you have to look the part of the lifeguard, Matt. That is a bikini moment.
Okay, I'm gonna let you take the hate mail for that one.
Absolutely, I accept. My email is at pursuingresults.
Okay, sure it is. All right. Well, let's get into a couple things. So one thing I wanted to point out real quick is Jay Salmon, who we've had on the show a couple of times now, had a really great post just a second ago that hit Facebook. I think it said 97% of people who quit chasing their dreams are hired by the 3% that didn't. That is a great quote. I love that quote.
Yeah, that's huge. That is really good. You guys, I've been listening to Think and Grow Rich, guys. Think and Grow Rich is just an amazing book. because, you know, on Think and Grow Rich, it's all about mental mindset, setting your goals, being specific towards it. Don't let anyone, you know, just deter you from your goals, where you want to, wherever that is in life. And I think that's exactly what Matt's talking about. I mean, it really comes down to you just wanting and chasing down what you want and need in life. That's what I've done in my dream book. You know, Matt and I created this podcast. One day I just took a deep breath. I'm like, I don't know if he's going to want to do this, but like, so you want to do a podcast with me? Yeah, dude, let's do that. Fuck, that went a lot better than I planned. Whew, okay.
Yeah. It's funny. Yeah, we've told this story before, but we were both thinking it, and then you just happened to bring it up first, but I was going to pitch you on it anyway at some point.
So that's,
and I mean, like within a couple of weeks of it, like we both kind of we're going to approach each other at the same time. It's fun. And now we have this bastard love child of a podcast.
Bastard love child, my ass. This is my true passion in life. And Matt, by the way, our YouTube channel just crested 1,308 people, man. That is just epic.
Thank you so much, guys. We appreciate you telling folks about the show. It's awesome.
Oh, it's so amazing. Guys, I have a full page, if you can't see this, of shout outs from just you guys communicating with me from our last show to this show. You guys are fucking awesome. Crazy. And if you're not already, if you're watching this on YouTube, by the way, hit subscribe so you get all our future videos as well as other real estate coaching content. And then if you're listening on iTunes or Stitcher, make sure to subscribe there if you want the audio version nestled right here in your ears, which is the best place for us to be. That way we can be with you in the car and at the gym and wherever you're doing other things and getting things done. Because you said one of your shout-outs today is from a guy who actually got a lead while he was listening to us. Is that right? Yeah, he was listening to the podcast, talking about doing how to do outbound cold calls without sounding like a robot while he was doing prospecting around a pre-listing home that they were bringing on, and bam, nailed it. Got set up another appointment. Dude's going to bring in about 1.2 million in volume just off that call. So for 20 minutes invested, guys, come on. What other kind of investments for 20 minutes get you those kind of returns if you put them to work?
Yeah, and speaking of that, I pitched Greg on doing another show where we go a little bit more into depth on prospecting, like the phrasing and the tonality, because, Greg, I went back and watched your live prospecting video, which is on our YouTube channel, and you are very, very good at very calmly and in a very authentic and casual way making your prospecting calls that follow a rough script but do not sound scripted whatsoever. I mean, they're great, and I think people can learn a lot from it because we've done some prospecting coaching, Greg. You remember this, where people think they are imitating that phrasing and then they repeat it back and they don't realize that they're way off.
Oh wait, I'm sorry. You were done complimenting me? Keep going.
No, yes, I was done complimenting you.
I'm here.
Dick.
I
was done complimenting you. Sorry.
Yes, 100%.
The ego stroking is done for the day. Sorry.
Damn it. I was so close to a second round. Yeah, no. It is so true. But I've also done 80,000+ cold calls that I can count, not to mention the tens of thousands of door knocks plus, the other follow-up calls and everything. This isn't something that comes overnight. This is not something that happens to you just by waking up and getting, going to one training class or listening to one podcast or doing it one time. Like, oh, I got it. No, you fucking don't. You know what? You're going to sound like a retarded robot. Hello, this is Matt Johnson. I'm calm. And does this sound good?
I have a great sense of timing.
Timing, yes.
Timing, yeah.
No, but Matt, what are we putting together for everybody?
What are we putting together for everybody?
We're putting together a script book.
Oh, that's right. It is almost finished. So we've been dutifully collecting all of the well, not all of them, but we went back a while ago. You and me, Greg, and filmed a bunch of videos about the scripts that you use on a daily basis for everything for buyers, sellers, and listing appointments and all kinds of stuff. So we had them all transcribed, filtered out all the junk that was in the videos that were not the scripts, took out all the crap and all the fluff and all the stuff that you don't want to read through, and we basically put it into a really nice scripts book that's gonna be coming out that is free, 100% free. So we're almost putting the finishing touches on that, and that will be available here to download pretty soon, possibly by the next episode.
Yeah, it's awesome, guys. We just got done with the cover on it. My favorite part that my face is on it. No, I think it's really easy it's clean, easy to read, guys. Quick side note, Matt, are we live right now? Because on YouTube we are not showing live at all.
Mm-hmm. Neely's watching us right now. She said, "I'm not talking to Greg anymore without a signed waiver that what I say will not be used against me on Real Estate Uncensored." So yes, we're broadcasting live. All right. So what do you say we take a question? I picked out a special one for you, Greg.
You got something. You got something special for me?
I do. This is not just an ordinary question. This is a question that, how do I put this? It's so far within it, it's nestled within your wheelhouse. It's at the very center of the wheelhouse that is Greg McDaniel. Okay?
I bore it. It's that much. That's that much of me.
It could practically be a yes. If there is no better source, there is no better human being on the planet to answer this question than you, Greg. Okay.
I can't wait for this.
So this is from the Facebook Lead Gen Description Objections group. Go join it if you're not already a member. It's not our group. It's a great pre-existing group started by our friend Aaron Wittenstein. It's like, I don't know, 14,000 members and counting. So Alex Smith, now this is a long question, just bear with me. So he says, my listing has such a nice outdoor barbecue that I thought of a unique way to get neighbors to come see it.
Oh, Christ.
I door knocked the neighborhood, and I told the neighbors I was going to have burgers and Coronas during the first hour of my open house today, and I encouraged them to come. I enlisted the help of my favorite lender and title rep to help me deal with all the people and the burger production. Now, sounds great, right? Covering all the bases. Oh, no?
No, it does not.
But I'm having second thoughts. My drunk monkey, it's a Matthew Ferry reference, is telling me that I don't want a bunch of drunk monkeys drinking beers and driving around afterwards for liability reasons. Newspaper next week, local realtor responsible for giving beers to minors, or, quote, DUI manslaughter, responsibility of local realtor giving bars at open house or giving beers at open house. So the question is, should I pull the plug or just offer non-alcoholic beverages?
Never, ever, 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 under any circumstances, ever, 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 ever serve booze at any business function. Now, what's his name? The guy?
Alex Smith.
Alex Smith.
I thought this directly contradicts what you said as far as the events that you throw.
No. Quite differently. Quite differently.
Okay,
so this is not a client party, is it? This is just like, hey, come over.
This is the first hour of an open house at a client's place.
Right. Okay. So the difference is that, I mean, there is really no difference. I totally contradicted myself, but you know what? Fuck that. Who cares? The reason why I wouldn't do it at an open house is because we don't know, like you said, minors coming through. There's no controlling of the environment. Things are already hectic enough at an open house, trying to walk people through the house, making sure that things don't walk away on their own. Identifying who the real buyers are, who the people who have agents are. It sounds fun. It sounds like a party, right? But I can tell you one thing. I would never do it. He brought up a perfect 2 points I thought about. If they get in an accident, hit and hurt or kill someone, get pulled over and get a DWI. Well, hey, sir, where were you drinking? Oh, I was at an open house. Oh, well, where's the open house? Come talk to Matt Johnson. Matt Johnson, do you have a license to be serving alcohol? No, I do not. Okay, well, cuffs, get the pretty little metal bracelets that hurt like hell and they get put in the back of that police car. Then you get your photo with that. No, I wouldn't do that. I mean, I really, really, really wouldn't. Now, the reason why I say we bring beer over and do Cinco de Mayo parties, it's a different environment. It's an environment and a clientele that we have specifically selected to come over. We have made them aware through invites on multiple occasions, come to this event. It's no different than in Christmas party or anything else. There's going to be liability built in, but you're going to be able to control your guest list, your environment, what's going on. That way, you're not going to have Phil, the neighbor next door, who's a flaming alcoholic, sit there and just beer guzzle, and pick lint out of his belly button next to the pool when you're trying to do an open house. I mean, that's not what you're looking for. You're looking for a serene, fun environment. So go get some clear pitchers, fill them up with water, ice, take lemons, oranges, apples, slice them up, drop them in. It's going to be a really classy look. It's going to have a really good taste. Go down and get some iced teas from Safeway or whatever store you're near, and serve those. It's still going to look classy, just no liability on your side. That's all.
I like it. You can also do non-alcoholic sangria. What is it? Sutter Home makes like an alcohol-free version of wine. They have a few different varieties, but yeah, I've had that served to me before. And if you do the same thing and you cut up limes especially and oranges and throw that in there, it looks super classy, looks like the real thing, tastes like the real thing, zero alcohol.
Yeah, absolutely. Let them go booze it up when they get home. All
right. So I was thinking that you did serve at least wine. I thought you mentioned that you'd served beer before at open houses. So
no. Never at open houses. Never at open houses. Back in when my father started in the business, I mean, broker's tour or caravan, whatever it goes by in your neighborhood, wherever you're listening. What they used to do, they used to see who would throw the biggest party And then we're talking the best booze, the best food, the best beer, the whole 9 yards. And everyone get on a bus and then just go around from house to house to house to house and get shit-faced, and then pretty much be useless for work for the rest of the day.
This is like real estate Mad Men style.
Oh, dude, it totally is. When I first got my real estate license, I was studying for my license, okay? I was 21, and so I just got into the bar scene officially. But I went on a ski trip with Chicago Title, and I was being a responsible young kid. I mean, I showed up at 4:30 in the morning, got on the bus, and all the adults were on there. Again, I said adults with quotation marks like that. They were going to be responsible.
Right.
And I brought my book to study. And I went in the back and I sat down, opened my book, and one of the title people came by and they're like, "What would you like to drink?" And I'm like, "What do you mean?" They're like, "Would you like a mimosa, Bloody Mary? Would you like a beer?" I'm like, "It says 4:30 in the morning, right? This isn't like a dream. This is like college, flashback from college. I'll take a double Bloody Mary, please." By 4:30 in the morning, I had.
Of course, you started with a double.
You got to go out with a bang, man. Why wait to warm up? Just get in the game.
Of course not. Okay.
So I actually drank. We drank all the way up. Then we put on our backpacks, put 18 beers in the back, and every lift we went up, we had a beer on the lift, of course. I cannot tell you how many yard sales I had on that day. And if you guys don't know what yard sale is when you're skiing and you catch your front edge and you just fly forward, and your boots and your snowboard and your gloves and your goggles and everything goes flying in every single direction. And then we had wine with dinner. And then we drank on the bus on the way home. There were stories for 5 to 10 years after that event of me dancing in the back without my shirt on, chugging beer. It turned into a shit show. And that's why we don't serve beer at our open houses, Matt.
Gotcha. Oh, this has been quite a story time today. It has been. Wow. All right.
And I have more.
So we talked about long hair, you getting shit-faced.
Yes, I did.
Oh, good.
The incident that shall not be named in training.
That's right, exactly. We alluded to it. All right. What do you say we get into some shout-outs, and then we'll get into body language? We've got a lot of fun stuff to go over.
Ooh, body language. Yes.
All right, that's enough out of you. Okay, so I'll handle my shout-outs first, then we'll get to Greg since he's got a freaking page of them to give. So number one, Viral Marketing, just want to thank them for cutting a check to make Hangouts and podcasts like these happen. They do a great job of managing Greg's East Bay real estate video blog. So if you'd like the same thing for your area, get in touch with them at getviral.com. And then Equity. With 2 Qs, online buyer lead generation is perfect for solo agents or a few solo agents if you have them under one brokerage. We can bring it to anywhere in the country, so it's a great way to generate a smaller number of higher quality buyer leads, so you can actually follow up with them and get actual clients and actual deals, which lead to actual commission, actual paychecks.
Actual money.
I know, actual money in your bank account. So take the McDaniel Challenge, get in touch with Greg, and he can fill you in kind of on the beta test for Equity and how you can get involved with that, and if it's available in your area already or not, and all the details. So, And then Greg, your shout-outs and the McDaniel Challenge.
McDaniel Challenge, guys, if you have not done it yet, Matt, this haunts his dreams. This is my phone number, 925-915-1978, 925-915-1978. Say it a second time just so it sinks into his brain. So when he's drifting off to sleep, he's like, 1978. Shit.
That's right.
But guys, it's an hour free coaching. Get a hold of me. Book a time with me. I am booked into the week of the 21st of March. Shit, not that far ahead. 21st of March is my next open appointment for us to get some time together. Guys, get off the freaking fence, guys. Seriously. Hashtag do not let Greg spend a night alone. It is a true statement, not a request. Do not let me do it. Bad things happen if I'm left to my own devices.
That's right.
Like I'll go to sleep early.
Well, okay. Hashtag don't let Greg sleep.
Fuck that hashtag. I like my sleep.
Okay, so who all do you have to shout out?
So again, Neely and I were talking. Shout out to her really quickly, and this is a good one. Don't break out in a cold sweat. She was saying that the podcast, if it wasn't for our podcast, she said that she legitimately would not be in business right now because she would have failed out of the business, because we brought stuff to her, the information in a shorter, conciser vehicle that she could see, touch, and use immediately. So I'm really proud of you, Neely. She did 100 handwritten letters, and she's already gotten 3 responses from them by doing the handwritten thing. So kudos to you, Knuckles to you, my girl. Yeah, Knuckles. Bing.
Knuckles.
God, we're retards. Jason, I got him booked. He was super thankful that we were back on Stitcher. Was super bummed that we were not on it, but so glad he's still going to take the challenge. Joe Park, I booked him for the MCC as well. He's the one that shared our link at the Pacific Northwest last show. And then James, I got you booked, man. He was from South Lake Tahoe. Quote, I was lost without you guys when you guys were not on iTunes. Matt and I will never let that happen again.
That's right.
Mario, home cheeser, Texas. I know you had shit to do, but I was really bummed. I honestly was looking forward to talking to you. I know you had the listing appointment come through, and I totally get it. I'm just fucking with you. But, seriously, get a hold of me. Let's rebook you. Let's make this happen as soon as humanly possible. Dude, he said his text was to me, no. Hold on, I got to read this to you. I got it this morning. I'm like, what the fuck is he writing to me? Hold on. It is too funny not to read on air on this one. Come on now. Mario, here it is. Fuck. I had a seller show up late until a listing appointment. It was obviously ran late. So sorry, brother. I've been looking forward to it all month long. Anyways, have a great motherfucking day. And I'm like, I only saw that last part. I'm like, who's calling me a motherfucker? Who did I really pissed someone off on the podcast? No, but seriously, we're gonna get you booked up, man. And we'll do it sooner than later. We'll find a special time for you because I understand that happens. Angel, this is the guy that I was talking about, man. He wrote us a comment on our podcast, and he's like, dudes, most righteous thank you for sharing such awesome content. Was circle prospecting for a listing we're pre-marketing while listening to the video and secured an appointment with a homeowner looking to buy a larger home. Total potential 1.2 million in total transaction volume, which is not bad for a 20-minute session. Keep kicking ass, and awesome. we will. Pablo, what's up, buddy? He's one of my friends. I've known him forever. Local guy here in the area, sells some high-end stuff in San Fran. So if you guys are looking for a killer agent in San Fran, high-end stuff, Pablo is your guy. But he loves our podcast, man. He loves what we're doing. Cool. And then Deb Stone, she's an agent here with Rockcliffe. Today, she launched her first video about an upcoming property. It was beautiful. It was amazing. It was within a minute. She nailed the points. I'm super proud of you. Again, Knuckles, girlfriend, that's awesome. Keep it up. Cool. Wow, I powered through those. That was amazing.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah. And I'm all done now, man.
Cool. All right, so that's it for the shout-outs. So make sure to take the McDaniel Challenge and get signed up for your free time to talk to Greg and bug him. And then same thing if you're interested in equity. So
there's no bugging. There's no bugging. I treasured time to talk with our valued.
That's right. Oh, and almost forgot. So if you want to support the show, patreon.com/REU podcast. You can help support the ladies that are behind the show. We're looking to raise about $1,000 a month and get them completely 100% paid for. So we have some amazing ladies, Vic and Caitlin, that both do all the back-end production and guest booking and set up the guests and handle make sure they look and sound great. So want to make sure that we support them and get them squared away. So patreon.com/REU podcast. And with that said, we are done with the shout-outs. We're done with the sponsors. We're done with everything. It's on to the
done with the show. And we're out.
And we're out, like George Costanza. And we're out. And on a high note.
we're off the air, right?
We have not hit the high note yet.
Okay good.
We actually have to give, we have to give some actual content. We want to help people.
Oh, we do? That's what we do?
Well, that's the idea. I mean, that's the general idea. If we get anywhere close to that, we're within the ballpark.
I thought we just did this so you and I could, chit-chat and talk shit and have fun.
Actually, that's probably more true than you know.
All right.
We do need an excuse for us to get together at least 5 hours a week and do nothing but talk to each other.
Oh yeah. Absolutely. Because there's always some embarrassing story one of us is going to tell the other one.
What? Wait a minute. What? No. It's really just your embarrassing stories.
All right, body language, let's go.
So like I said at the top, this is based on a presentation that you gave to the Young Professionals Network, right? This was just last week. Okay.
Yeah, this is a week ago today. No, a week ago tomorrow.
All right. So one of the things that caught me, like, I guess, pricked my interest when you and I first started doing videos together is you mentioned something. There's a little, and if you can start out with this, if I can refresh your memory on it, you can share this to kick things off. That'd be awesome. So when you're doing an open house, you shared this tip one time about like how to open up your body and steer people in the right direction. Does that sound familiar?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. So run that by people real quick so they get in the sense of how body like subtleties like that can really help you take your game to the next level.
So you want to talk about just the open house part?
Yeah, just that part of it, and then we'll get into some of the more general stuff.
Okay, so when you're at an open house, guys, what you want to do is you want to go up and you want to meet these people. When you meet them, you're going to you're going to stand up tall. I don't want to get too far away from the mic. You're going to stand up tall because my voice isn't loud enough, right? And you want to open, if you guys can't see this, you want to open up your hands so that you're not clenched, you're not holding up behind you or anything else. You got to open palms is a safe. Your subconscious is called the reptilian part of your brain. It's in the tip of your skull back here in the back brain. It's in the back of your head, and spinal cord. That's what it is.
There we go. The top of your spinal cord. Okay. So anyway, palms open.
Good thing I'm not a doctor because just cutting this general area here somewhere.
I'm just going to draw a dotted line where we need to remove whatever this is. It's just a general area. It's like somewhere in the back there. It's the back of the head.
If there's excess, just take it all out.
Yeah, just take it out. We don't need it.
All right. So what you want to do is you want to open yourself up big. You don't want to come off big as threatening or attack mode, but big as confident and powerful. And then what I do is that I hand them the information like a flyer. Here is a flyer. If you guys are iTunes or Stitcher, I'm holding a piece of paper, and I extend it all the way out to them, and have them take it while I'm smiling to them, full smile, and I'll get into the whole full smile with eyebrows here in a minute. And then I specifically block off one of the avenues in the entryway, okay? And I will then ask them, say, hey guys, thanks for coming through. My name's Greg McDaniel. Here's some information about the house, yada yada yada. 3-bed, 4-bed, 2-bath. Third of an acre, single story, remodeled kitchen with a massive master closet. Give me your opinion, and I'd love to hear your thoughts about the master closet. The home is yours. Please go. I'd love to hear your thoughts before you leave. Okay. Then I stand there. I don't move. So let's say I'm blocking the avenue into the bedrooms while I'm funneling them into the living room and then the dining room, then to the kitchen. Well, then I would have another strategic route based around to come around the opposite direction, very casually, oh, you again. So strange to see you in this part of the house. And I would then, casually, very nonchalantly be like, oh, so tell me, guys, how did you find us today? Was it online? Was it the signs, or did your agent send you? And then as soon as I figure out who sent who where, then I'm able to move forward and have a legitimate conversation with them, or know to leave them alone. But I block them off. I believe that's what Matt's talking about. I block them off from coming through a certain way, and meeting them at the front door is critical. Don't hide in the kitchen crying because there's other humans near you, Matt. But there's 4 initial responses that every human has. Now, these are all subconscious. They have to do with nonverbal communication that the other person and you are giving off at all times. So here are the 4 of them. One is, are you a friend? Are you a threat or an enemy? Are you a potential sexual partner? Or this next one is where your mind is hardwired for. Are you indifferent towards them? Now, a lot of you are going like, I'm not indifferent towards people. I love everybody. People person. I'm Mr. or Mrs. Social. Well, sorry, you are indifferent to everybody. That is why when you walk through a supermarket, go to Starbucks, you go through an office or to an open house. Why, if you're such a people person, why are you not talking to every single person you're coming in contact with? Because you just don't give a fuck. You know what? They haven't brought any value to your life. And so you are indifferent to that other human being. And the sad thing is that if you were to have that conversation, a hello, a smile, some sort of interaction, start building a conversation, you won't ever know the value, the power, what you guys could combine and build together, or just the friendship you could have, or have that mortal enemy that you just you're like, fuck, I'm so sorry to say hi to that guy.
I was gonna say that cuts both ways, Greg. Like the more you find out about a person, you might find out they're just a huge douchebag.
Huge D-bag.
That's right.
Yeah, no.
But it's true though. And the bigger, it's funny, the bigger the city you live in, the more that indifferent kind of attitude gets ingrained in you. I mean, that's why New Yorkers are famous for being impolite and very short, because there's just so damn many of them.
There's so many of them. They're gremlins. You drop water on them and they just multiply. Anyone who's old enough to know that comment, it's awesome. All of you young bloods, I'm sorry. Gremlins is a great movie. So with the fact that knowing that you honestly think that you're indifferent to everybody and they're indifferent to you, when you go to an open house or not an open house, when you go to a listing appointment or you work with a buyer the first time, Matt and I have talked about this, several times, and you're wondering why you're not communicating, why they're not, responding back to you. You did all this work, you did all this blah, 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 whatever. Well, it's because they're indifferent to you. Okay. They just don't care. You have not done your job. You have epically failed at a core level of bringing value to them. Now, they might be perceiving you as a threat. Keep that in mind. They might be being quiet because they think, okay, there's a problem here. Maybe it's the way you look. Maybe it's your eyes. Maybe it's the way you ogled, I ogled their wife or their underage daughter, or, you said something creepy, but you didn't mean it. You thought it was funny as your sense of humor. You have to, guys, these are nonverbal communications. It could be as small as they're used to people wearing loafers, but you came in like steel-toed construction boots because it's raining out. They might be hardwired to thinking that's a threat. You have to understand how people perceive you as a friend, foe, potential sexual partner, or if they just don't care about you and you're indifferent. Now, the universal way to break through something like that is a smile. It's so subtle, but so powerful. But those of you who are watching me, if you can't watch me, go back and watch this, because I literally cannot communicate this without you guys seeing this. So when you smile, your cheeks go up, the muscles go up here on the sides, your eyebrows are raised, your eyes open up. You're like, hey, what's going on? Right? It's a friendly gesture. People open up to that. But if you do like this, hey, what's going on? And those of you can see me, I'm doing a half smile with no eye movement, no eyebrow movement, nothing. And I look remarkably like the Joker from Batman, and we know how that works out.
Yeah, there's a great episode of How I Met Your Mother where they're trying to figure out why they're creeped out by this guy, and so one of the main characters prints out like a bigger than life-size poster of the guy smiling, and then they just cover up the top, and he looks like he's smiling, and they cover up his face, like part of his face, and just leave the eyes, and he looks like he's screaming at them. And it's a weird thing. Like, it's a very good actor. The guy's name is Kyle MacLachlan, if I remember right, and he's very good. Like, the guy can smile with just the lower half of his face, and then the rest of his face looks like it's just yelling at you, angry at you. So it is possible to not have that authentic smile show through, and it's important to smile with your eyes, not just with your mouth.
Yeah, smile with your eyes, guys. It is the most amazing thing that you need to do. I'm getting communications here from a few of the Bianca, Miss Tinsley. What did she get? She got 2 listing appointments, door knocking. Dude, awesome. You are a pimp. Straight up. No one's gonna mess with you no more. Yeah, that's my ghetto side. So here's the other side on this. You know what? That you need to understand is that the smile is your friend, but it's also your enemy. All right. So the optimal smile is about 3 to 5 seconds. So this is what you don't want to do. Hey, what's going on? Hi. And those of you who can't see that, I've been smiling and awkwardly staring at Matt that entire time. But if you just do like that, hey, what's going on, man? What's new with you? It's very easy. It's smooth. It's your natural smile pattern. And also, another good thing is your eyebrows. We call it the eyebrow bump. Like this. You walk down the street and be like, what's up? What's going on? So for all you ladies, you've always had those guys that are across the bar and they're looking at you and they pop the eyebrow like, hey, what's up? What's going on?
So it's like that, but not creepy?
But not creepy. Not with a creepy voice like, hey there, sweet thing. What's going on? Okay. No, it's not like that. No, the eyebrow bump is actually one of those things that you can be walking down the street and it's a guy, maybe it's a guy language, or even, you know, gals too. I'm not sure how you guys are wired on this one, but you know, if I was walking down and I see Matt do like the eyebrow bump and I'm walking past him, I'm like, boink. And I'll be like, wait, I know you? How do I know you? Hey man, what's going on? And then you get 2 minutes in the conversation. How do I know you? Oh, you don't. I just want to do the eyebrow bump. See you later. You know, it symbols safety, it symbols family, it symbols, you know, a relationship of some sort and a familiarity. And that's one of those things that you can use as well. So when you use them in conjunction, all right, you're going to have a nice, strong handshake, not over the top strong, but a nice, strong handshake. You're going to look them in the eyes. You're going to smile. You're going to bring your cheeks up. You're going to do the eyebrow pop like, hey, what's going on, man? They're going to feel safe. They're going to feel that they're in an area where they can actually be them and that they know you. Another thing is another subconscious little tip and trick here for you guys. Matt, I don't know if I've talked to you about this, but when you do a handshake, okay, hopefully you guys can see this. When you do a handshake, do you know where the word or the phrase over the top comes from? Man, that guy is so over the top. This is where it comes from. Again, this is all subconscious and nonverbal and back in your reptilian part of your brain. So when you shake someone's hand and you're straight up and down, that's an even meeting. But if you come on and do the handshake and you're slightly, again, over the top, slightly on top of the other person's hand, psychologically, you're taking control of that relationship at that moment. You are going to go into a superior status in their subconscious. And it's an incredibly interesting, you know, thing to think about when you're going in there like, okay, so that last douchebag I talked to, and why did I not like him? Did he try to break my hand when I shook it? Oh, did he go over the top on me? You know, was he giving me weird, you know, eyes? What was his posture like? Also, it's your postures, guys. You know what? You're like Matt and I was talking about the open house. You want to be up front, you want to be open, broad, right? But if you come in at a shoulder like this in an aggressive stance, again, you got to watch me to understand this. I go in with my shoulder first, with the hands down. That's an aggressive stance. It's a fighting stance. It's so that, you know, if they throw a punch, a kick, a knife, a gun, something like that, you thinned out the zone that you could be attacked on. Also, you guarded your inner organs, your gut, your head, your heart, but you're taking it on their shoulder. People will immediately feel that as a threat. So be very careful about how you open up with that. Also hands, guys. Now, I don't know where you stand on evolution versus creationism, but we're just going to go with the fact for this, you know, subject, we're just going to go think about it like this. Let's say hypothetically that all creatures, you know, humans evolved over millions and billions of years, blah, blah, blah. And as the, you know, human evolved, we went from on the ground to a standing species. Now, when we're on the ground, again, hypothetical, your belly, your under area was protected. So when you go and you're subconsciously aware of the fact that this is where, I mean, your guts, your heart, your lungs, your neck, your head, this gets damaged, you're done. And so you want to protect it. So when you see someone come with their arms out like, hey, what's up? They're revealing their soft underbelly. They're showing vulnerability. But if they're keeping their arms in, their arms crossed, any other closed off, you know, body language, they're protecting themselves. They're not being open. You view that as a potential threat. Then you go into protection mode, and then the whole relationship can have a potential of falling through the floor. Hold on, I just lost my place.
Women will also do this as kind of it's hard to describe if you're doing just the audio version, but they'll do this, like cross one arm and then touch either a necklace, or they'll touch their collarbone.
Clavicle, yeah.
Yeah, that's a total sign of discomfort. You'll see a lot of women do that just out in public when they're, you know, maybe in a new place, or if you're in a situation where it's a sales situation, you're making them uncomfortable. If they're still warming up to you, you haven't built enough rapport, you'll see that a lot.
Okay, Matt, that's what you call a segue.
A segue? Was that totally an unintentional segue?
It was. Not like the segues you get to ride around on, but a segue in a conversation. That was a bad joke.
Yeah, and the band left.
Wow.
That's right.
So here's a segue. I want to Miss Tinsley, it's a pleasure. I'm so glad to give you all the motivation, and it was a pleasure to give you a shout out. So there's power moves, all right, that, you know, people, there's big energy and there's low energy. And these things are incredibly interesting to watch when you're interacting with people. Now, Matt, we'll go into low energy right now because Matt, you know, segued into that. Low energy is anytime when you bring your shoulders in, anytime you want to protect yourself, you hunker down, you make yourself smaller. But the biggest negative or small energy you can ever, put out there is when I'm not covering my boobs, but this would be your waist. You cover your waist, and then you come around and you take your hand and you cover your neck. Okay. And you hunch down like this. Now, what you're doing there, think about what we just talked about. You're covering your internal organs with one arm. Your hand is covering your artery in your neck, and you're shrinking down and protecting yourself. If you see this, typically women do it more than men, but men definitely do this. There is something wrong in this environment. You're doing something wrong. You're a threat in some way. Something you've said or done is something that is not resonating positively with this woman or man.
Well, and you'll see, speaking of guys, so one of the things you'll run across if you research body language, you'll know, and if you start noticing it when you go out, so you'll see guys do this all the time. They'll stand with their drink, whether it's a beer or water or whatever, they'll stand with it across their stomach.
Oh, I do that all the time.
Yeah. Always hold it down, hold it down at the hip.
Actually, I do it because usually I'm overheating somewhere, and that cold beer is like touching my shirt and then going to my skin is keeping my body core temperature down.
Sure, okay.
It really is.
So you're holding a cold beer against your stomach to cool yourself down. Yeah, is that what you're telling me, Greg?
Yeah, I'm like, this is a beer. I'd be holding it like against my stomach right here, cooling myself down.
Oh, absolutely. Hilarious. All right, moving on.
That encourages me to drink beer faster. So
that's just another example of do what Greg says and not what Greg does.
Pipe down. Okay, so now let's get to more powerful poses. So a higher energy pose is when you're gonna, instead of shrinking in, you're gonna be opening up. Right. You know what? Think about the animal kingdom. It's called peacocking. Like all those pickup artists, they call it peacocking. When you go around, us guys strut your stuff. You know, you're wearing the flashy clothes, the flashy everything. What you're doing is you're saying, "Look at me. I'm over here. Check me out. I'm awesome." Now, both men and women do this, and it's totally natural. But that's a power pose. You're feeling comfortable. Or if you're sitting in a chair and you're doing this, like yeah, what's up? Kind of leaning back. But you're spreading out instead of shrinking in. When you stand tall and look someone directly in the eye and you hold the gaze, that is a powerful move. You're not going to be subservient to that other human being. You know you're running the show, and if they understand it, and they keep feeding that, you're gonna keep doing it. But be careful of it. If you dominate them too much, and they're not the personality that's going to take that, like a high D, high I, you try to dominate me, and I'll come back in and I will redominate on you. I mean, that sounded absolutely horrible.
Yeah, it's a balancing act because, you know, high Ds get along really well with other high Ds, right? I mean, who would you want to work as a high D, Greg? Who would you want to work with as a professional? If you're hiring a professional to give you a service, you want to work with other high Ds. Now, that doesn't mean that you want to be dominated, though, but you want somebody that has that, you know, has that same personality type. That's who you get along with. So you can overdo anything, but yeah, I mean, people still want to be led.
Absolutely. I mean, if I was in Jeff's area, I would hire him in a heartbeat because, you know, I mean, he and I just, it was like, oh, no bullshit. Oh, sweet. You're outgoing and loud. I'm outgoing and loud. You know, okay.
You guys were thick as thieves right off the bat.
Oh, yeah. I was like, hey, what's up? What's up? Whoa, this is going to be fun.
Yeah, exactly.
But it also comes down to, okay, let's go into a quick set of power poses. All right.
Okay.
Now, this guys, pay attention to me. This is what's going to make a massive difference in your income. So seriously, write this down. Or actually, if you want to learn more about it, there's a TED Talk. Her name is Amy Cudley. She is an attractive blonde hair about here, like a purple shirt or top with a black coat over. Phenomenal video about this. But what she talks about is this. In a test study, what they did is they went out and they got, maybe 5 people here and 5 people here, A and B group. A was told to do power poses, and I'll explain that in a minute. And then B was told to do low power poses, right? Weak poses. So a weak pose is like we talked about. You're hunkered down. You're got all your legs and arms are crossed. You're looking at the ground. You're covering your neck. Those are your weak power poses. And they would have them do those for 3 minutes. While in the other room, the other people were doing the real power poses. And the real power poses do this. People that are born congenitively blind and the people born with perfect sight do this exact same response when they win something, either in a sporting event of some sort, or if they won some sort of an award, they do the victory V, the yes. They open themselves up and they put their hands right up in the air. Now, all of us have done this, and we don't know why we do this. It's just something that we immediately do. It's because you're exposing it. You're expanding, right? Like a peacock. You're expanding out. You're like, yes, I win. I rule. The other one is called the Superman. The Superman. I got to stand up for this a little bit. I got to hover. This is
it's hands on the hips. It's Wonder Woman.
This?
Right? Yeah.
Wonder Woman, Superman, whatever else it is. And then the next power pose is the boss. It's when you lean back in your chair, put your hands behind your head, put your feet up on the desk. Now, this chemically changes your body and psychologically changes your mind, because it's gonna reduce the cortisol, which equals stress, and it's gonna bring in testosterone, which is going to be your power. Now, the fake interviewers that were interviewing these two groups of people were told to give the interviewees the exact same very stoic nonverbal communication, just like I'm going to stare at you and I'm not going to say anything. And so at the end of the interviews, 5 out of 5 of the people who did the power poses, the interviewer said, we don't know why, but we want to hire those people. Those people, there's something about them. All right. Now, I tried this. I listened to Amy. I've been listening to her for years. I still listen to that same interview, and I listened to a lot of other stuff she does. She's brilliant if you want to learn more about it. And so I did. I was doing cold calls, and I went in and I got called to about a $3 million home. Dude, like a $3 million home off a cold call. These guys have got to know somebody. So what did I do? I prepped. I did my power pose. Actually, I did 2 of them. I doubled down. I did the boss, and I did the Superman or Wonder Woman, whatever you want to call it. I walked in there, guys. We had them. They were asking when we could get going on listing that home before I left on the initial appointment.
Nice.
Now, is it because something I did? I don't know. I didn't do anything different. Is it something that psychologically that I just can, I mentally walked in there going, this is my bitch. This is my house. I'm taking it down. No ifs, ands, or buts or whatever's about it. Oh, by the way, that happened today, Matt. I told myself I was taking down this client in a good way. Like I'm big game hunting. I'm going to take that one down. Okay. But she's a sell by. I've been trying to reach her for a month and a half, leaving messages every other week. Called me back today going, and this is right after I said it. And I just made a commitment to it. I'm like, I'm working with that client. She's mine. Called me back today. Thanked me for following up. Can't wait to get started.
Nice.
Yeah. So guys, now we're going to step into one of the most important things. And I guarantee the majority of you guys have no idea that you're doing this wrong majority of the time. It has to do with hand gestures. Okay. So your hands are one of the most important communication tools you have in your repertoire, because like I said before, an open palm equals no threat, no fear, no weapon that could harm the other individual. So you immediately calm down and relax. So if you were to, and I do this in my classes and I do this with everybody around all the time, is that I will talk to you and show you, things like with an open hand, well, it was like this, and what about this, and here's that, and what about here? And I don't do this, or anything else. It is always with an open palm. Most folks will do this. Yeah, you need to fix this, and you need to fix that, and well, that needs to go, and what's that over there? There's a reason why Hitler's, sign wasn't like, hey, let's give everybody something. It was more like, oh, me Hitler. Right? It's a much different energy that it was given off, because it was the open palm. There was no open palm here, right? It was a closed palm essentially.
Yeah, palms down.
Palms down on that.
Yeah.
2 palms down.
Horrible. The Roots have left. They're just the entire band. They got up and they left the set. There's nobody here for your rim shot, Greg.
Oh, damn it.
I like it though. So palms up. It's again going back to the a lot of the stuff stems from the same thing, right? So if you can solve the underlying problem, which is you feeling uncomfortable in the situation, then a lot of the stuff flows naturally. But if you're feeling uncomfortable, those are some of the things you can watch for. Just ask yourself, am I conveying comfort? Am I open? Or am I protective? You know, like palms down is protective, palms open is obvious, palms up is open.
So here's something very interesting. You got 2 more points, Matt. And then we can wrap this thing up. But here's something for you guys to remember. Now we're talking about palms open. Using palms up or palms open, you have an 84% more likely of a chance for them to be compliant to what you're talking about. Palms down, you have a 54% more likelihood of them being compliant. But if you're pointing at them, only a 28%, because that does not feel good to them.
Yeah, so it's very, human beings don't like to be told things. Now, if you make a statement that we can agree with, or if you ask us a thought-provoking question, we're much more open to it, and that gets into copywriting too. But it's like the body language you mentioned is a physical manifestation of that. When you're pointing, it's very declarative. I say this, and that automatically raises people's resistance. It's like, no, you don't, no, I don't automatically believe what you say. Which that's, one of the things you're trying to do in an appointment, whether it's a buyer appointment or a listing appointment, is you're trying to build credibility and trust. So why would you destroy trust and create resistance by trying to make declarative motions or declarative statements that they can't agree with and are comfortable with 100%?
I couldn't agree with you more. Chuck, if you're listening, dude, thank you so much. He's sending some people my way that want to do role play. So maybe Matt, you and I can set something up. But he thinks that we're probably one of the only sincere guys in this whole real estate game. He wants to make sure we're not too booked up for his folks to do the McDaniel Challenge. So Chuck, big pimpin' brother, thank you so much for sending people our way. I'm going to leave you with a couple of interesting stats, Matt.
Okay.
And so in communication, most people say, well, it's everything in the words that you say mean the world. You got to make sure you say the right words. No, it's astoundingly different in just statistics. When you're communicating with someone, I can say, Matt, you're a total fucking douchebag. And I could say it lovingly and kindly. And Matt will be like,
often do.
And then Matt will say, okay, I totally accept that. But if I say, Matt, you're a fucking douche.
Right.
And then all the kids' ears are bleeding. Mothers are getting, mute immediately on our podcast. It conveys differently. So when the words that you're saying are coming out of your mouth, it only matters 7% of the time of the actual words that you're saying. 38% of the time, guys, is going to be your tone. So, and then the additional 55% is going to be your body language. So 7% of your words, 38% is your tone, 55% is your body language. It's staggering to understand, but your nonverbals communicate higher than your verbals. Make sure that your nonverbals are saying the same thing that your words are saying.
Yeah.
And you'll see a large increase in just positive, interactions, both personal and professional, communication with your spouse, significant other, kids, clients, managers, anything like that. If you understand how you're actually being viewed by the other human.
Yeah, very true.
It is.
All right. Was there one more? Did you have one more stat?
No. I think that's a good point.
Because I found a semi-humorous list of 10 body language no-nos we can go over real quick that I got a kick out of. Okay.
Sweet.
All right. So number 1 is checking the time. Don't do that, especially if it's on your phone.
Don't do that.
Oh, so bad. Looking at the ground tells people you're shy or disinterested. Obviously.
You're so boring. I'm watching grass grow.
Exactly. All right. Touching your face.
Will that earthworm actually get to its destination?
Picking at something. What? The earthworm reference. Okay. On the edge. Sitting on the edge of your chair communicates that you're literally on the edge, both mentally and physically. You want to make others feel more comfortable by sitting back in your chair and looking relaxed. So that is true when it comes to a listing presentation.
Right.
Depends on the.
But I mean, you want the sellers, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, you want them on the edge of their chairs, looking towards you, engaged in a conversation. They're physically trying to get closer to you because they like what you're saying.
Yeah, leaning in good, sitting on the edge of the chair bad. That's their point. So when you lean in, sit with your back and your butt basically pressed against the back of the chair. Don't sit on the very edge and then lean forward. That makes people on edge. So tapping.
No pun intended.
Yeah, exactly. Do not tap. Don't tap your fingers, feet, or even a pen. Then this goes back to
that guy.
Yeah, exactly. Just nervous tics and stuff like that. One of the greatest things you can do for body language that just one change that you can make that will ripple out and affect everything is literally just slowing down. You have no idea probably when you're in an appointment with somebody, when something is on the line and you have a little bit of that adrenaline and the fight or flight response is kicking in. You have no idea how much faster you're probably talking and moving than you actually are. You'd have to actually watch a recording of yourself. I mean, this is why if you go and listen to a live concert, they're always playing at 5 or 10 beats a minute faster than they recorded it in the studio. Because you get on stage and the adrenaline flows, and you naturally start a song faster than you would, even though you think it's the same tempo. It's the same phenomenon. Really? So if you're in an appointment with somebody, I mean, God, I don't know how much you listen to music, Greg, but I love live albums. And as a musician, it's very difficult, extremely, extremely difficult to get up in front of a crowd of people and start a song and play at the exact same tempo you did in the studio, because it feels like you're just playing in molasses. It feels unbelievably slow. But to the audience, if you play it the way you feel like you're playing it, like at the speed you think it should be, to them it sounds like you sped up 1,000,000 miles an hour. That's how much of a perception shift there is when you have that fight or flight response going on. So when you're in a meeting, one of the best things you can do is just focus on your breath. If somebody asks you a question, and especially if it's an objection, immediately just take a breath and then answer. That alone will do you wonders. And then focusing just before, working through your power poses and stuff like that before you go into an appointment, just focusing on slowing everything down, slowing your hand motions down, feeling the tension in your body and letting go of the tension, letting go of the nervous energy, and just kind of focus on everything being a little bit slower. It will help you put people more at ease, because you'll be more at ease. The energy that you give off has much more of an effect on people than you realize. And if you have a nervous energy, if you go into a meeting with nervous energy, it conveys that and it gets people on edge. So calming yourself down more will convey that. And that goes to there was one other thing that I noticed, that a body language key when you're presenting, right? So if you're talking in front of a group of people, rather than standing stationary, even if it's a power pose, nothing wrong with that. You can do power poses when you're speaking, but one of the best things you can do when you're public speaking is to walk around a little bit.
Absolutely.
You know? And that's a great way to take some of your nervous energy that you're going to have anyway when you're speaking in front of people and translate it into something that actually makes you entertaining to watch. And instead of letting that energy leak out in the form of tapping or clicking your pen or tapping your foot or any of the other nervous tics that you see sometimes public speakers will leak out. So those are some. And then we got finishing up the list of things not to do. Objects. Don't place an object in front of your body. It shows resistance and shyness. Don't be a close talker. Don't use a fake smile, for the love of God. So like Greg said, just smile naturally and then let the smile fade. Don't keep it like you're holding a Polaroid pose from the 80s when you're trying to get that darn photographer to just take the effing picture. You are not responsible to hold your smile for 30 seconds. Please don't do that.
Yeah, you are. You're a real estate agent.
And then over blinking. Well, smiling with your eyes. Nothing wrong with smiling with your eyes. Yeah.
Matt, is this bad? Is this too much blinking right here? Is this bad?
Yeah. Don't do that. Am
I nervous at all? Am I talking too fast? I'm starting to twitch on everything else.
Yeah, exactly.
Actually, my leg did automatically start twitching when I was doing that. That was weird.
Did it really?
Yeah, my inner left leg, my thigh, I started twitching back and forth like a dog. When you scratch them, their little rear leg starts going all crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
I don't know what to do with that other than to talk about energy. Energy is a very, very interesting thing. I was reading about a little bit. The guy that writes the client letter, Jason Leister, talks about how when you're working with clients, he writes a lot about that. The relationship that you have with them is often dictated by the flow of energy between you and them, whether you're in demand and there's not enough supply of you to go around, or whether there's more supply of you than there is the demand, and how much of an effect that has on the relationship, right? Attraction is created when there's more demand than there is supply. As soon as there's more supply than there is demand, you lose attraction. And that's the same thing you're trying to convey in a point, whether it's a buyer consultation or a listing presentation. You want the demand of you to exceed the supply of you, right? You want to go in there with the feeling that, look, you are not my only potential client. I have other people that I'm working with. I'm looking to see if we are a good fit to work together. This is not me interviewing to hopefully possibly spend the next, every hour of every waking day for the next 3 months working for you and being at your beck and call. Like it's the wrong energy. It creates an energy that actually works against you and makes it less likely that you're going to get that client. Like having that mentality going in almost sabotages you before you even show up.
100%. I actually do my script, and we're at over bingo here, but I want to make sure that I get this done. When I go into a listing appointment, guys, I've done my power poses. I'm mentally in the game. I'm in my state. I'm not thinking about a fight or something negative. I'm not thinking about what I have to get done. I am in the moment. I leave my phone in the car. Okay, no interruptions. It shows a sign of respect, that nothing is more important than you at this very moment. And then when I get in there, I'll talk to him. I'm moving a little bit slower, like Matt was saying. I didn't even know I was doing that, but I am. I'm always moving slower, kind of just chatting, wandering, looking, checking it out. But then I tell them straight up, Matt, Julie, your 3 obese babies, I just wanted to let you know that I want to explain to you how we work. Okay. Now, we are incredibly blessed with the folks that we work with. And I don't want you to misunderstand this, but I want you to hear what I'm saying is that I really, really want to represent you, but I don't need to represent you. The fact is that what I'm saying here is that this is on your timeline. I'm not going to push you into anything that's not fitting for you, either pricing, timing, or anything else. Like I said, I want to work with you. I think we would do a very good job for you, but I don't need your business. I want your business, but I don't need it. So when it's the right time, we can move forward together. Is that okay with you? And I say it in that tempo, and I clarify it with them. And every single time you can see like this, like release valve, that gets pushed, and they're like, oh, thank God he's not gonna close me on something. I mean, Rima, my buyer, after meeting with her, she's like, I am so glad that you were not a douchey car salesman and trying to push me into something. And I'm like, I told you, I don't need I want it, but I don't need it. I don't have a car payment. I have to get paid right now. Yeah. And once they get that comfort level and they see that your body language is calm and relaxed, they get calm and relaxed. AKA, they like you.
Yep. All right, we should do an entire episode on how you run your listing presentations. I would be curious about that myself. And
they would be amazingly short.
Amazingly short?
Yeah.
Okay.
But I have no problem doing it. I mean, another one, if you guys like some of the stuff we're talked about today, there's a whole thing about goal setting, dreams, clearing negative energy from your body, getting mentally in a different mind, set for your day. I can share some stories of what's happened to me. It is more of a metaphysical conversation. It does correlate directly into real estate, but it is definitely off topic of what we usually talk about. But every time I do these different things in the morning, the days are epic.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Talking about the episode that we did here a few weeks back.
Yep.
I believe that was the one on goal setting, right? Two wildly different approaches to goal setting.
I was doing more about energy clearing, metaphysical stuff, in regards to, meridian tapping, clearing, techniques. Because those, like when you set a goal and you have that little twinge in your gut and it goes, yeah, I know you want it, but there's no fucking way you're ever going to get that. And you believe that second little part because your subconscious is running more often than your conscious brain. And then there's not a way, one has I have learned the tips and tricks on how to clear that negativity out. And once you clear that negativity out, it never comes back. It is cleared from your body forever.
Interesting. That would be cool to get into. We'll have to do an episode on that.
I'll share my stories with what things have changed in my life, things that I wrote down, I shared with Matt over a year ago about things I wanted to achieve. And Matt and I are directly on track for hitting these goals. Thanks to you guys. So
yeah, that's true. All right, guys. Well, I think that'll do it. So just a quick thank you again to Viral Marketing. So they obviously write a check to make Hangouts and podcasts like these happen. So make sure to check them out at getviral.com. And then Equity, which is online buyer lead generation. It's built from the ground up for solo agents. So get in touch with Greg, take the McDaniel Challenge, and he'll fill you in on the details of the beta test for that and whether it's available in your market or not. And then, Greg, what's the McDaniel Challenge? How do people reach you?
The McDaniel Challenge is going to be the highlight of your lives, folks. It's going to change your life. Your husband and wife are going to love you more for the hour that you and I get to spend together. I highly doubt that.
Okay.
But it sounded fun. Guys, send me a text, a phone call, please, and get an hour free coaching with me. It's you, me, kicking back. There's no form. There's no sales pitch at the end. It's just me hanging with you. We just getting a rocking time, getting to know each other. And by the end of it, I will have an opportunity to, identify some superpowers that you possess that you may or may not have noticed or thought about. Then we can tweak, and put them back into your business to help you start making money sooner than later. And guys, this is 1,000% free. I will not pitch you or anything else on any product or any service unless you want to donate $1,000 to the Greg McDaniel Fund. That's okay too.
It's the Poor Underprivileged White Boy Fund.
I actually, in high school, I used to walk around as a senior and walk around and, at break time and be like, give to the poor starving senior fund. Please give to the starving senior fund.
It's funny.
I was an extortionist at 17.
Oh,
but not with you guys.
All right. So how do people reach you? As if we don't know. 925-915-1978.
That's right, Matt. Let me go over that again. 1-925-915-1978. Our glorious numbers. Please press them in that exact sequential order. You will get me on this beautiful device where we will have a conversation, and then we will book you on the McDaniel Challenge. So make it happen. Get off the fence.
All right, awesome. Hashtag don't let Greg spend a night alone. All right, with that said, we will be back on Friday. We've got an amazing episode with Chris Angel, and we're going to talk about farming. So it's a farming mastermind. Both Chris, who is an expert in farming, has a bunch of private real estate coaching clients, and he's a past KW like an office CEO as well as a team leader. Amazing guy, awesome guy. He's going to talk about farming. He has some great perspectives on how to reach people by being authentic and developing a tribe around other interests that you have, other hobbies or passions that you have that have nothing to do with real estate, so that you have an audience of people to speak to that already know, like, and trust you. So we're going to get into some of that stuff as well as ideas that Greg has for farming and how that compares and contrasts with Chris's approach. That's on Friday, 11 a.m. Pacific, so join us live then or listen to the replay later on down the line. And then we've got some amazing guests coming up in the next couple weeks, like Lars Hedenberg, a big real estate coach out of Charlotte, North Carolina. We've got some other amazing guests like Brian Casella coming up, and we're like all over the place. So we're going to be doing a lot of cool stuff. So until Friday, until then, guys, thank you so much. Hit subscribe here on YouTube, subscribe on iTunes or Stitcher if you prefer the audio versions, and we will see you here in a couple of days.
Yeah, guys, tell a friend. I love you. We love you. We do it for you. We'll see you Friday.
All right.